our goal was to hold this retrospective to where the people who were being honored could enjoy it. We missed that by a couple months with Barbara, unfortunately. Eve cannot be with us today because of some health issues. But otherwise, we got Gene and Bob here as artists.
Illness befell Eve in the late 90s. She was inspired by this to form a support group around art as a healing force. She moved to Salem in 2004 to be close to her son Ken and his family and her sister Judith.
What a well-rounded, talented artist she was. Thank you, Pam.
These paintings here, these watercolors, reflect of the ranch life that's what she was. She was a cowgirl. And here's an oil. She did a few oils. But to me, the watercolor medium was her where she should have stayed. I love that. And watercoloring is hard because you can't make a mistake. You know, you can wipe out oil, but you can't make a mistake. Barbara's appreciation of art, I think she was born with a gift because even when she was small, she painted. And she always saw scenes that she knew were maybe not going to last a long time, and she would paint them. Because she was raised on Lower Joseph Creek. She was one of a family of 6, and they had a very large cattle operation. She appreciated good art. She just added a lot. Well, she started a lot of the art in the county. And then they moved to Valley Heights. They had a beautiful home up there, and her house was like a gallery. And unfortunately that burned. A lot of those paintings burned. But Barbara was known mostly for her miniatures. Came down through the family somehow, and it's a picture of her brother Doug, whom I'm now married to, and his little wagon. The wagon says Doug, and she just signed it Barbara. The one over here is of my milk cow Star, and that's her head's in the stanchion. And she came out and took a picture one day and did that watercolor. Everything around her was beautiful. She created it that way, you know, the way she dressed and the way she painted, but her passion was the arts in general. She was appreciative of music and all art. But her heart, as she aged, went back to being the little girl raised on Joseph Creek. That's all she talked about.
I don't compose subject matter. This is plein air. In other words, I did it on site. But I'll just pick a place and I can't explain it. I don't compose paintings. I don't do preliminary sketches. I don't lay charcoal hints down on canvas. I just go ahead. And there's a painting over here which is a good example of that. One of the influences in my life is an artist by the name of Max Beckmann, a German Jew who came in the 30s. He taught art at St. Louis. And he uses these very bold outlines. The best example might be that one over there. Another reference for the way I paint is Mark Rothko, his subject matter is completely different. I just fly by the seat of my pants. And I am what Mike has often called a natural. I didn't have the benefit of an art education. And there are some real disadvantages. I don't know different medias. I've never done a watercolor. I do pen and ink. I started with oil pastels, which was a great medium for me. And this is an oil pastel. There's a dark side. It just costs a lot of money to frame them.
Bob is one of the most natural people at composition I have ever met. He's also a wonderful photographer, and I think some of that sense of composition came from that photography.
I've done thousands of life drawings, and I'm trying to get away from women a little bit. So over there is a nude that is arousing some interest in some buyer's mind. There's one titled the Last Best Seat in the House, which is a fighter who just got really tagged. This is I've got probably 25 sketchbooks. And this one just has horses and boxers. my dad. So this is to honor him. He died at 90. My mother was 99.
Thank you, Bob.
You're most welcome.
Give me a hug.
I started liking to draw when I was about 4 years old, and I've been drawing ever since. I'm on something, or whether I was supposed to or not. After I left the service, it took 4 or 5 years to get rid of malaria. Run my hand through a roller, feed roller in Wallowa. That mashed things up. So after that, I went to school in San Francisco at the San Francisco Art Center for about 6 months. Then I went up to Oregon Tech so I could play football and mix that with a little artwork, and that went pretty good. Then I got back up into Wallowa County again and went out for work for the Forest Service about 6 or 7 seasons, and then I decided to better put my artwork together, so I saw a guy in Wallowa painting a sign one day, so I hooked up with him, Bob King, and we were painting houses, outside houses, and I painted a lot of houses around Joseph, Enterprise, Wallowa. And then gradually, the commercial arts that I studied in San Francisco was, biggest part of it was lettering. So I got into the lettering business, and that was my living for, I don't know, up until about 18, well, still going at it. So after I lost this hand and went back down to go to Oregon Tech, I learned to do everything I could left-handed. Learned to start nails with a hammer. You take a nail like this, you do like that, or you can put it in your mouth, hit yourself on the back of the head, and that's
And he's got this watercolor in front of him, and I looked down and he's got this mountain, he's got these elk, and he's got an autumn scene, and it all came right out of it. I asked him, where's all that stuff? He says, right up here. And that's the beauty of Gene's work. He has so much up here, and it comes out beautifully on his canvas.
That's at Sandpoint, same place. On Gold Creek, and this is the Imnaha scene. Wallowa Lake, put a few Indians down here to give it flavor. There's Imnaha Canyon. There's a stretch of the Lost Teen River. You can about tell where I've been if you just put all these things together end to end. This is up Hurricane Creek. This is up on the Maxwell Lake Trail. Hurricane Creek, same. There. But I enjoy taking a scene and bringing back the history that was there, but business was a little slow here, so I went to Sandpoint, Idaho. And I was up there for 23 years in the sign business, painting business. And I lost my first wife up there due to cancer. And I returned back to Wallowa. That's looking up the Grand Round Valley. This is Mount Harris, and this is Fort Hall. Inside the Fort Hall there. That's over by Baker Interpretive Center. And Massacre Rock is down here. And Registered Rock is up here. And Bear come out and stood where I have him. And then he come over and come through the gate, and they walked right beside me. I was in the pickup, I'm glad I was. And he went on through, and that was been about 30 years ago. I lived up there at Prairie Creek for 10 years, and in Joseph about 5 before that, and I've been down here about 11 years. There's always a challenge out there, and always room for improvement. I turned 92 last February, so you slow down a little bit.
Their work is all vast and different from miniature to mural, and just a great example of the versatility that we have in the county and the talent.